wondered what dry brush is best for you? Well, if that's you, watch this video because I'm going to talk about the different types of dry brushes out there and the benefits, what to look for, all of that, so you can get the best one to suit your needs. Now, with that being said, dry brushes should always be clean and free of toxins. That is my number one priority, because if we're using a dry brush, remember, dry brushes will open up the pores of our skin. So if we're opening up the pores of our skin and we're like sloughing off some of our dead skin cells, if there's anything on the brush, there is the potential for it to go in our skin. Remember, our skin is our largest organ. It absorbs everything it comes in contact with. So it's super important that we get a clean brush. So very, very important. Very important. All of my brushes are always organic, free and clear of toxins, just so that I'm not absorbing anything in addition to what I'm exposed to on a daily basis. Now, with that being said, there are two categories of dry brushes. There's the vegan category and we'll say non-vegan category. It doesn't really matter which one you go to. You just got to know the benefits. Again, the most important part is that it's free and clear of toxins. So I always get organic dry brushes. That is the most important thing. Next, let's talk about the plant-based dry brushes. There's three big plants that are used in this category. One is bamboo, one is agave, and the other one is sisal. Now, all of them are going to have the same benefit, the same outcome. All dry brushes are technically. As long as the quality is there, that's the important part. Now, there will be a difference between the bristles and how they feel on your skin, okay? So, with that being said, out of these three, the bamboo is definitely the most gentle. And if somebody is looking for a gentle, like vegan dry brush, I always tell them go and start with bamboo. Why? It's gonna be a little softer on the skin. It's not gonna be quite as coarse. So when you're going on your skin, it's not quite as rough and it just feels a little bit more gentle. So bamboo is definitely the softest of the plant-based material ones, followed by the sisal, or at least this one is anyway. This is a little bit more coarse. It's a little rougher, even though I'm using the same pressure. It's a little bit rougher than the bamboo one, but it's still, I kind of like it. But I like the exfoliating feeling. It should feel kind of like if you were to do like a salt scrub or a sugar scrub, right? Where it's coarse, you're going through and you're ultimately using the salt or the sugar to remove those dead skin cells and open up your pores. That's really what we're doing with dry brushes, regardless of which one you choose. It's ultimately going through and exfoliating, opening up your skin cells or your pores ultimately, so that you're also supporting your skin as a drainage pathway, which I love. And then agave, this one at least, is definitely the most coarse. This one is, you got to be super, super gentle. It's just rougher on the skin. So for me, if somebody has super sensitive skin, or if I'm using it on a child, I'm not using this one. This one just is too much. They're not gonna like it. So out of the three, it doesn't matter. You can do any of them. I personally like the middle one the best. I think because I can tell that it's opening things up, but it's not so rough that it leaves me like itchy after. So those are the vegan ones. Then we're going to move on to the non-vegan ones. So non-vegan is going to be things like horse. So my dry brush over here has a combination of horse and copper dry brush in the middle. And this one is boar. Now, I always make sure that when I'm using anything animal related, that it was ethically sourced. Why? Because that's really important to me. I'm going to make sure that I'm not supporting a company that is going to be cruel to animals. That is just not okay in my opinion. Now, the nice thing that I like about these two is they are definitely softer than even the bamboo. So bamboo, being the softest of the plant material, is still more coarse than, say, the horsehair or the boar's hair. Now, the difference between these is one's a body brush, this one is like a kid brush or a facial brush. Just because like when you look, this one doesn't quite fit my face as well, and I can get in and do like smaller areas. What I really like about these brushes is they are very soft. So both of them, I would say, are about equivalent. When I'm feeling the bristles, they're about the same. So it is going to be the most gentle on your skin. It is still going to open up your pores though. It's still going to exfoliate you, which means you're still getting the benefits of like the skin's lymphatic drainage, along with, you know, sweating. Like this might actually make you sweat a little bit, which is a good thing, while moving the lymph underneath the skin. So I personally, I grab these two brushes the most, followed by the sisal one. It's not that I don't do the other ones. I do, and I will typically use like a bamboo brush or my cheaper brushes if I'm going to be doing something like wet dry brushing, meaning if I'm going to be doing it in the shower or if I'm going to be doing it with castor oil, I'm definitely going to pick a cheaper dry brush than say my more expensive dry brush. I'm not going to be putting this in the shower. I'm not going to be putting oil on this one. Why? Because I want to keep it. Whenever you get your bristles wet, if you're going to wash it or if you're going to use it in the shower, just know that your dry brush is not going to last as long. Why? Because water's going to get into where it like attaches, and then it's going to start to develop mold and things like that. So it's really, really important that you take really good care of your dry brush. One thing that I will always do after I use it, regardless of which dry brush I'm using, I always run my hands through it to try and slough some of the oils and the skin cells off, just to keep my brushes clean, just to keep them from like bending. And I also never store my dry brush face down. I always store it face up unless it's wet. If it's wet, then I will wrap it in a towel and face it down so that the water comes out and dries. But otherwise, it's always face up so that we're not like compressing the bristles. Really important, especially if you want to keep your dry brushes for a long time. When you invest in a good dry brush, it should last you years. Now, I travel with mine. Mine gets thrown in my backpack. You know, it comes with me. Why? If I'm going for a long period of time, I like to have options for lymphatic drainage. I never know what's going to happen. Hands are always my go-to, but this is always a great option as well, along with these ones. So you get to pick what is important to you, but if you're new, I would definitely suggest starting with either horse or boar or bamboo. It tends to be the most gentle on the skin. It's going to be more likely that you're going to do it when it's not quite as rough. But as always, before you dry brush, whenever we're dealing or wanting to address the lymph in our vessels, we gotta first open up our lymph nodes. So go and open up those lymph nodes first and then go through and dry brush. You will get way better results. Let me know below if this helped you. I'll also place some links of my favorite dry brushes just below so that you can pick which one works best for you. Thanks for being here and happy draining.